so happy we alive.
For coffee too? Because we're doing coffee and...
Oh, well, you can come early and stock up on more coffee and more muffins.
We're doing
The
coffee.
actual training starts at 9.
Yes,
so.
okay, so coffee and muffins, and it's a grind at 8:30. And then we'll go off to do some planting, and we have 49 trees along Atlantic that will be planted, so we're gonna be very green.
You can have my tree in front of my house.
Yeah. It might be a little too big. And then following that, the Port of Long Beach, as part of its Harbor Arbor program, has agreed to do planting, and they're creating a green belt at 51st and DeForest, right behind the old Sutter School. Lindsay Academy, it's gonna take me a while to remember that. Lindsay Academy, and that's going to be from 11 to 1. There'll be food, entertainment, you know, it's a family event, so come on over and see what's happening there. It's going to be a very nice addition for the community that lives back there.
That's the 26th
That's
as well.
on the 26th from 11 to 1 o'clock. And I don't know how many of you get so involved with the community that you're aware that the planner of North Long Beach is missing in action, but Jill Griffiths is replacing Scott for right now, and if you need that number, it's 570-6191. Things are kind of shuffling around in City Hall these days.
You know, Scott was here at every meeting. Is it possible that until they find a replacement that we could get a planner to show up at the meetings and do a little blurb so we know what's going on in terms of changes?
We can ask. We will ask.
And what's her last name, Jill?
Griffiths. Lori, I'll let you know what they say. I know they're stretched a bit. Why did you give me this? Oh, no. Okay. April 15th is going to be a very busy day. Did everybody finish their taxes? I just finished mine. But we're going to be meeting with the UP Railroad and the port and the city to try to resolve some of the issues with the maintenance UP corridors and the bridges. And this has been, I will tell you that I've been meeting with Union Pacific for probably 20 years. And most of it has been on the same issue. And for some reason, not everybody can agree on whose responsibility it is to do what. So hopefully we're getting closer to the Union Pacific folks taking more responsibility and agreeing to fund activities that hopefully will be designated to be controlled by Parks and Rec, because the port is really responsible for the maintenance. And then they get reimbursed by Union Pacific, and they're not doing their job. So we're hoping that we're going to be able to take that on in-house. And
I'm wondering if you want to formalize that with an MOU so that it's agreed to by all parties.
absolutely, absolutely. And then at 2 o'clock on April 15th, we have an economic development and finance meeting to discuss the fire sprinkler requirements. You all remember, you know, the terrible fires and the loss that we had last year. And it's about putting in sprinkler systems in the multifamily residential units and the high rises. And it's very controversial. The problem that, you know, I see, and that the part that's so difficult, is that people that are of retirement age, seniors that have, you know, invested in condominiums that are older buildings that don't have the systems, they're emailing us saying, you know, please don't do this because I can't afford to stay here if I have to pay more fees. So there's a big disconnect in what do you do? How do you put a demand like that on people? You don't want to be driving them out of their homes. So we're talking about trying to develop some other kind of a program that could be administered in place of. Certainly nothing will replace it, and you'll hear the fire marshal talk about that. But some kind of an annual meeting where fire could possibly attend a workshop to educate people on how to get out of a fire and what to do, and also to require that they have the bottles in their homes, and maybe several of them. I have one in every room in my house, underneath the sinks in the bathroom and in the bathrooms and in the kitchen, and so they have the little tiny ones made just for kitchens. And I've had to use it a couple of times, so I encourage you to do that if you don't have it. And then you mentioned earlier about the electronic billboards, and I will tell you, I got a call from Steve James, who is the head of the union for PD. He had received a call asking for them to try to arrange a meeting with me to talk about electronic billboards. And I said, you know, Steve, I don't need to talk about it again unless they have something else that's new. You know, I don't agree with the negative impact it will have in residential areas. And so if you want to put it on the airport property, no problem. But if it comes even close to impacting a residential area, I can't be for it. And the problem with it is it has to go in a redevelopment area to be able to benefit the city financially. If it's on, let's just use the airport as an example. If we put it up on airport property, the only people that would be able to advertise on it would be the airport. Only whoever is on that property. So that isn't what they want, because then the sales are down. And I also question whether or not, they say a minimum of $500,000 and to a maximum of 1.5 million. But when you look at a city with a budget of nearly $400 million, I mean, we have needs far beyond, you know, 500,000 or $1 million. We have to be very vigilant, and I'm not sure what we're going to do. Val, I don't know if you want to add anything here, but we have a serious problem coming up. And when we're negotiating now with fire and with IAM, you know, the city workers, and we've got the police contract, which is to bring them up to median next year, which is another $40 million. I mean, it's really, this city needs to be able to look at its financial needs, and it's going to count on all of you as voters to help us determine what are we going to do, what are we going to be providing for us, which way do we want this city to go in. And you know, I know nobody likes the word tax, but I'm afraid that's where we're going. So, you know, that's not a good subject. Let's turn to some good stuff. Okay. Bixby Point, which is on the corner of Atlantic and Carson, is nearing completion. We will have a new little Italian wine bar and another bank. You've probably seen the sign up for FedEx Kinko's and GameWorks, and the kids are very excited about having a GameWorks. And that should be opening pretty soon. I'm thinking a couple of months, right?
No, it's GameStop rather than
GameWorks. What did I say? GameWorks. Oh, no, GameStop, sorry. And then we have 2 new traffic signals coming in on Atlantic, one at Marshall and one at Cartagena. And they're going to be up for about a month before they're actually working. How many of you saw the one on Market at Lindbergh School? And the questions kept coming saying, when is it going to start? When is it's been up for, you know, a month and it's not working? But it's because they have to do work or work on all the connectors to make sure that they test out right before they start the signal. So, but that's coming soon. And then Atlantic Avenue also will be paved from, is it Bixby?
Right now, Roosevelt.
Roosevelt, well, we're trying to get it to Bixby to San Antonio. New retail development is also going in at Long Beach Boulevard and Bixby, where the strawberry stand is. I met with Martin Howard on Friday, and he showed me his renderings of the plan that he has. But then when I was with him, another restaurant owner from downtown, John Morris from Smooth's, called, and we talked about, you know, we really need more restaurants up in this part of the city, more opportunities for dining of you know, lots of different levels. And so John said, you know, I'm too old to do that. I can't start all over again. We need to be reaching out to the young folks that are, you know, just coming out and trying their wings and, you know, are ready for what it takes to make that commitment. It's a big commitment. When you own a restaurant, you live and breathe that environment. So they had a couple of folks in mind, so I would much rather see a restaurant there than another strip retail mall. So